This was a very sweet episode of Little Witch Academia. Seeing my girl Diana going through some development, not giving up on her dream, which was to be expected because of what this arc was mainly about, but it was still nice to see her continue to press forward and to showcase that she won't give up. And it's thanks to her friend Akko that was able to allow her to continue doing what she wanted to do. It was such a sweet episode. And I like how the conflict was settled. Even if in some cases it was very stereotypical or cliche, I still like how the conflict was handled in, Little Witch Academia style. And when you see the scene at the end, when, they're riding on the broom, they're going back to Luna Nova, and you have it to where Diana, she just whispers, pretty much thank you and all that. And then Akko's like, wait, what'd you say? I legit didn't hear what you said. And you have it to where Diana's acting all tsundere. That was an adorable scene. It just shows that she is opening up to Akko. She realizes that Akko really helped her out in time of need, and she really respects that. And so that final scene just shows that the relationship, they have grown closer. Diana does consider Akko as a close friend now, especially after this week's episode. But it doesn't just stop there, though. We also have throughout this episode some really adorable moments, especially when Diana, she shows that she doesn't give up. She continues to try to learn magic. At one point in her life, we don't know exactly the exact details, but there was a time in her life to where she couldn't really use magic. She just couldn't use it at all, and she continued to press forward for she could use magic. And I'm going to assume it has something to do with her mother, relationship with her mother, whatever happened, but also on top of that, though, I think the reason why she continued to press forward and she never gave up in the first place when she was trying to continue to get back her magic was because of Shiny Chariot. We do know Shiny Chariot holds a very big part of the younger age of Diana's life. We know that's a big part of her childhood because she has a card she holds onto in a box, and she's kind of been turning away from that for a long time now, according to her maids. And so because of this, we know that she's kind of embarrassed about that aspect, but at the same time, we know that's a part of her, and that's probably what made her continue to press forward and never give up, because we have seen throughout the journey of Little Witch Academia that Diana, even though she seems like that type of character that could easily fall into the stuck-up, royalty type character that's just, a noble, thinking they're all, better than you or whatever, like they're the big bad, like, oh, I have more money, power, and all that. Usually, that's the type of character, Diana's entire design is thrown into, but she wasn't kind of like that. She wasn't stuck up, she wasn't really arrogant, even though Akko said this about her, and even if Diana was acting a little bit arrogant, she wasn't purposely trying to do it. She wasn't trying to be condescending. She wasn't trying to be a jerk for the sake of being a jerk. You know how that normal character trope is usually done. And so Diana has shown that she does respect Akko, and respects how Akko continued to try and learn magic. Even if Akko was a failure at a lot of different things, you saw where Diana did actually appreciate how much effort Akko was putting into learning magic. And we've seen this multiple times throughout the episodes of Little Witch Academia. Not just in these past two episodes, but throughout the journey. Every time Diana popped up and we saw whatever Akko was doing with Diana, usually Diana showed that she did care about Akko and was kind of concerned or was looking out for her in whatever way she possibly could. Now, because of this, we do know now, thanks to this episode giving us a flashback, we understand why Diana did that. We understand why Diana wasn't acting awful to Akko, because there was a point in her life to where she was very similar to Akko. She couldn't use magic. I guess you could consider her a failure, especially since she is from a famous family. I mean, you're from a famous family that has been, known for generations and all that, and then all of a sudden, you just can't use magic, you look like you're a stain on the family name. And you have to realize that's probably how Diana felt. She probably felt like she was useless, but she continued to push forward and try to learn it once again, which resulted in her eventually becoming what she is. We do know, thanks to previous episodes, Diana has put a lot of effort into learning magic, researching. We saw the book, so we know that she puts a lot of effort into her work. She doesn't just, have that gift. Like, she's just talented right at the start. She had to put all that effort in to be to where she's at right now. And that's why she constantly gives Akko support. And that's why Akko came to respect Diana, because Diana wasn't just gifted because she is famous. It's because she put in that effort. She went that extra mile to learn. So I like the correlation and how Diana's character was explained with this episode, why she acted like she did throughout the journey of this series. So, at the end of the day, with the conflict of this episode, Diana doesn't get to become the head of the family. That's kind of something that was unexpected and to be expected, if you understand what I'm getting at. What I'm getting at is the fact that I thought Diana was going to become the head of the family, but then go back to Luna Nova, like everything was going to be fine. But that wasn't the case. Diana wasn't able to become the head. She went back to Luna Nova, which I expected, but she didn't get to become the head because she just didn't make it in time. And she ended up saving her aunt from a life-threatening, dilemma. So overall, Diana did the right call. She could have easily let her aunt to rot and die, but she didn't want to do that. She saved her, and which in turn, at the end of the episode, we see how the aunt's still a little bit snobby and more of a jerk still, but she has toned it down a bit to where she's not being completely condescending. So I do like that aspect and how the conflict was kind of settled with this episode, and how Diana can, go after her dream, do what she wants, and then when the time is ready once again in a few years, she could come back and be the head of the family once again. So it was a very sweet episode. I like how it focused on Diana. I like how it finally gave her development and characterization, and it was definitely an episode we needed, because we do know that Diana is going to be a very crucial part to the end game of the series, because we have all speculated by now when it comes to the final word with the shiny rod, most likely Diana is going to have to play a huge part in that, because we know what the reason why most likely Shiny Chariot was never able to get the final word is probably because she didn't have a good relationship with anyone. We know she was going about it by herself. She had Crow with her, but eventually something happened between them and they're no longer friends. So we do know that most likely the final word has something to do with, like, a relationship with a friend or whatever. And basically that's probably why Shiny Chariot was never able to accomplish her goal, is because she had a falling out with, her best friend at the time, and now no longer her friend. And that's probably why Diana and Akko needed to have this episode for the final word could be unlocked. So it seems like all the puzzle pieces are being fit into place, and we're finally getting closer and closer to that end game of Little Witch Academia. So let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I love you all so much. Please be safe. Chibi out.